to the Roughneck Minute, a Movies by Minute podcast where we go over the movie Starship Troopers 1 minute at a time. I'm one of your hosts, Matthew.
And I'm your other host, Johann.
And we're at minute 59, guys. This minute begins with the fleet orbiting Clendathu and ends with a Viking being rolled out outside of the Corvette. Now, if you guys don't know, a Viking is actually the name of the DR-4 Viking dropship that the military uses to do its little drops. But we're not going into that just yet. We get a nice view of the fleet.
Okay, so the Vikings are those little V-shaped little spaceships?
No, actually, those ones are called the F-76 Thunderbolts.
Oh,
they're basically a space and atmosphere fighter bomber. So because I guess they don't have really much to fight, this would be kind of the equivalent of like an A-10 Warthog kind of thing.
Okay, so are these the ones that drop or do like the napalm runs and everything like we saw previously? Do you remember if that was the same ship?
It's the same ship.
All right. So this is the first time we see them, but we don't see what they do just yet.
Well, actually, it's technically not the first time we've seen them. During, like, upward shots of, like, any of the Corvettes, there is a bay, like, quite, like, about in the middle of the ship that has a few of these on the deck.
Okay. All right, so maybe these guys, like, in the later minute, they're doing the initial run with the napalm to basically clear out a landing area.
Possibly, yeah.
Okay.
We don't know what they're doing, but yeah, we get the nice fleet. They're just, going merrily along. There's a nice little ring system that we see that's probably that asteroid field that they were talking about.
That's actually what I was wondering. What planet are we on?
We're on Clendathu.
Okay, so...
This is Clendathu. Big K.
Total fictional planet, then.
Yes.
Okay, because I was wondering why there was also 2 moons, etc. I thought for some reason it was in reference to something realistic. And for some reason, that's what I thought. But yeah, you're right. Clendathu.
Yeah, this is Clendathu.
So yeah, it looks like it's panning back, and we're seeing more of the fleet, or not panning back, but the ships are moving forward.
Yeah, it's the Star Wars opening shot where you get the little Corellian Corvette, and then you get the Star Destroyer.
Yeah,
kind of thing. It's that shot, except we're not going underneath the Corvettes.
And there's a familiar song that's playing through right now at about 58:19. Where have we heard this song?
Well, guys, you can actually hear this pretty much anytime you listen to the Roughneck Minute because it's our intro song.
Yeah.
Hey.
So
this song is actually called Clendathu Drop.
So one thing I was that I found out perusing the interwebs is the inspiration to the song was actually in the script itself. It seems like there was a particular orchestrated or piece of orchestra that he wanted. So when Edward Newmar was writing the script for this particular scene where the troopers are boarding the Viking, correct?
Mm-hmm. That's correct.
The way he wrote in the script is he already had a piece of music in his head that he had chosen to basically, like, this is the type of, sometimes some people listen to music and it basically builds off the what they want to write, or basically the theme of everything, kind of like how The Crow was written. Yeah, most of it was done by pop songs at the time, and that's how the mood of the comic was actually written, and it seems to have translated towards the movie itself.
Yeah, I mean, every time I read The Crow, I listen to Depeche Mode all the way through.
All right, you can do that. So, when I was reading the script, apparently he was influenced by this composer named Gustav Holst, and he's German, so is it like Holst? How's it pronounced?
It would be Holst.
Holst. Okay.
Probably, yeah.
So there's an actual a complete symphony of seven parts, but it seems to be influenced by the opening, which is called Mars, Spring of War. So we will add a piece of that to the actual podcast right about here. So you can actually tell that these are the parts where you just feel it in you, because in the movie they're about to go to war, and in the symphony, it's Mars, bringer of war, which is basically like the Ares, or Mars would be Roman.
Yes,
Roman
correct.
mythology. So that's why it's called Mars, bringer of war. The chapters are also based on planets. So it's like Mars, Venus, Mercury, Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, and Neptune. No Pluto. And there's actually a good reason why. So there is no Pluto because it wasn't discovered until like 4 years before he passed away. So this piece was also already created prior to the discovery of Pluto. So that's the reason why it's not added.
I think also, I mean, Pluto really wasn't anywhere in like the Greek mythology anyway, but this is all about the planets, right?
Yes.
Cool.
So, reading into this actual piece, because the music's actually really good. So looked into it, find out where basically like first I was wondering why wasn't there Pluto, and that's where I found out the info is because when he wrote it Pluto wasn't discovered yet.
Mm-hmm.
Then reading into it, people have adapted it into their own things. Obviously, people try and redo it. Apparently, there are pieces that are written with the piano. The actual orchestra piece doesn't have piano in it, so that's the reason why. Some people have added into it, adding asteroid. Because of the asteroid belt, one called Towards Osiris, then Ceres, and Komarov's Fall.
Huh.
Some of it was written for the Berlin Philharmonic. So it seems like this thing is actually very, very influential if you were in this what's it called? This type of community of orchestra music. I mean, I'm not too big into it, so everything's always new to me, and I like discovering stuff that's new. But progressive rock bands seem to have loved this, which I can see. Progressive rock bands rocking out with this. Apparently, Emerson, Lake, and Powell, they did an arrangement of Mars, the beginning part, the one that we just played for you guys, and they played it in live shows and later in Black Sabbath concerts.
Oh, awesome!
Yeah, there's apparently a black metal band called Bathory.
Oh yeah, I know Bathory.
I know they were mentioned on last podcast on the left when they covered their black metal episode.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't listen to any of them, like any of the bands they recommended. It's just not my thing. But apparently they have a song called Hammerheart, and it's supposed to be based on the arranged section of Jupiter. It seems like even Man's Earth Band. Do you know who that is? Or Manfred Mann's Earth Band? They did the song Blinded by the Light.
Oh yeah, okay, I know what that
Blinded
one.
by the light. Yeah, they did an arrangement of Jupiter as well with lyrics.
Huh.
Like, obviously these are all things I didn't know until now, which is like I'm kind of amazed by this. The rock band, yes, they covered sections of Jupiter again. Like, it seems like Jupiter's like the big one. Jimmy Page.
It is actually.
Jimmy Page did improvised sections of Mars, the beginning part of this whole symphony, for Dazed and Confused, which I think is one of their albums. I'm not too big into Led Zeppelin. Sorry, I know it's my dad's thing, not mine. But I guess somebody out there could listen to that. Maybe I'll do it later and verify it. But so as it goes on, like Frank Zappa also did it, which doesn't surprise me. That guy's actually pretty god awesome. But one of the things that pops out because it is for pop culture, John Williams incorporated the instrumentation of Mars as the inspiration for Star Wars, for the Imperial March, more specifically.
Yeah, that actually I can hear it in my head a little bit right now too.
So I guess like this, I guess it kind of sucks that I didn't know about this guy until now. Like, it feels like I've missed out, and now I'm gonna try and catch up. But apparently, Hans Zimmer also tried to use the melodies of Mars for Gladiator, but it was just so close that there was a lawsuit of copyright infringement because it was just too close to what it actually is.
Yeah, you're talking about the very beginning opening scene where the Roman army is going against the Germanic horde, and that whole entire as soon as the battle opens up, that whole entire music that sounds like pretty much note for note Mars.
Yeah. So that, like I said, I wish I knew more about this guy for a longer period of time, about just Gustav Holst, but I would recommend listening to it because obviously it's pretty awesome, especially if you're going to make a song about going to war. The way it's incorporated to this movie, you can definitely tell that their influence is there.
But we get a little scene change after the music keeps going on, and it actually starts picking up quite a bit. We get the MI moving out. They're forming up their ranks, and they are boarding their Vikings.
Yeah, the scene looks like there's only a little bit of CGI. Up at the, looks like close to the second Viking, there's a row of troopers running into the ship, and it definitely looks like the soldiers are painted onto whatever that background is.
Yeah,
because it doesn't even look like they're making contact with the ground.
What may have been done is because the only things that look like they are physically there are going to be the bottoms of the dropship, things that are going to be that the troopers are actually running into.
Yeah.
The actual top of the dropships, the Viking body itself, is a miniature itself, and was probably just copied over and over and over again until the very end.
No, I mean like the like, I'm not sure what to call it, but like a tarmac of the area.
Oh, that's definitely tarmac, yeah.
Okay, it doesn't look like they're actually making contact with the floor.
Okay.
Like, it looks like they're floating a bit. And hold on I think I see a blooper of some sort replaying it. With the row of soldiers that are running in, one of them trips.
Oh no.
Yep.
Oh yeah, I see it. Yeah. He got on his knee and then he got back up.
Yeah, he tripped up.
Yeah, it's okay. As long as they get in there. They're just like mustering up really, really fast.
Yeah, but it looks like there's like one guy that checks on him, make sure he's okay before they continue to run. And he's probably he's like, dude, don't worry. It's probably never going to be seen ever.
No one's ever going to notice.
Little they didn't know the interwebs.
You know, we see
everything.
Especially because we're going over this minute by minute.
Yep. So,
yeah, this looks like it was just copied and pasted multiple times. They probably did multiple takes at different angles and whatnot, or probably, did get painted in as well too. But this scene looks great because, I mean, it's the whole entire, dropship, deck of this ship, and everyone is running in.
Yeah. There is a logo that's right by the door. I'm not sure what it is. Do you see it? It's like an upside down triangle with red and black.
Mm-hmm.
It actually looks kind of cool. I wish I knew what that was. In fact, at 5834, it's like right behind his left shoulder.
Ah, I see what it is. That looks like it is it could be an airlock logo.
Oh, that's not as awesome as I thought it would be.
Well, because I think maybe red would mean red is bad outside, and then it has to be locked or something like that. I'm not sure, because it looks like there's a little handle or something like that, because it's on the other side as well too, on both sides.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So that may be like a press this to get out of here kind of button.
Okay.
Also, you won't, because in the next coming minutes as well too, you can actually see it right now, but in the next coming minutes we'll see it even further. There's hooks on the very, very top of the dropship pod.
Yeah.
And we don't know what those are for because no one ever hooks on. But I would think this would be like if you needed to drop from the dropship pod itself, somehow parachute down, or maybe this was in the movie, like they couldn't get it out of the prop itself because they were planning on using the Marauder suits, which would be perfect for these. but they may have not been able to use them anyway.
Yeah,
so.
like to keep them stabilized while they're standing there
Dropping.
waiting to get dropped.
Yeah.
Or unless they're like the book itself where they're dropping in with parachutes, this is where you would line up your chute with the hook. But it's not there.
No, it's not.
I mean, I haven't read the book, but I definitely know the cover, and the cover has paratroopers.
Well, it's different. I'll actually get into it on Friday, actually, because there's going to be a special surprise, another special surprise on Friday.
Okay, so the guy that's speaking, do you have the name of him?
I don't.
Okay, well, he's in the script, he's called Lieutenant Willie.
Mm-hmm.
And the name of this group that Rico is in at the moment with Kitten and Ace and Diz is Willie's Wildcats.
Yes, that actually makes sense because that was in the book as well, too.
Okay, so that's their group. This is the Willie's Wildcats, but it's definitely not covered in the movie.
No.
Because then it would only last this short couple seconds.
Yeah, the only time I actually remember this guy is that, you smash everything on there. You kill anything with more than 2 legs. You get me?
We got you, sir.
Yeah, that's a great part on that one, too. As a young kid seeing this movie, that one I was like, haha, that's silly kind of thing,
Yeah.
But yeah, everyone's running in. They're getting in their little dropship seats. And he's giving them a little prep talk saying, you guys got to kill everything. You stay together and you'll be good.
So during this departure portion where they're starting to
move out,
where the Vikings are being, they're taxiing out of the ship. I don't know what it's called. I don't know what the term's called.
Taxiing is a good term.
Okay. So apparently at this point, if they were in the Marauders like it was originally supposed to be, this is where the heads up display actually shows a video of basically like their enemy. So it shows a captive bug warrior. So tell me this starts to sound familiar.
Okay.
So it's supposed to shriek as federal scientists torture this bug warrior.
Okay.
And the troopers start cheering for the fact that this thing is being tortured.
Okay.
So the federal scientist says here, every day federal scientists are looking for new ways to kill bugs and you can help. Then a head scientist turns around and speaks to the camera, and it's Carl.
That does sound familiar.
And then Johnny and Dizzy look at each other and they grin.
That would have been cool.
Yeah. And then so Carl says, to defeat the enemy, we must know the enemy. Take, for instance, your basic arachnid warrior. Minimal IQ, armored, completely lethal. You can blow a limb off, shoots a gun. Actually, he shoots a pulse gun and blows off one of the legs. It's not the standard Merida.
Yeah.
And it's still 86% combat effective. But here's the tip. Aim for the nerve stem and put it down for good. Carl fires again. The bug kicks and squeals at his die. Carl tosses the pulse gun aside. Does that all sound familiar?
Well, besides him tossing the gun to the side, you should never toss a gun unless you're in some kind of awesome movie.
Yeah.
Because it could discharge and whatnot. But yeah, that sounds pretty par for the Know Your Foe section in the FedNet.
Yeah, remember how I was saying this is weird that they would show this to the public?
Yeah, well, so that's the thing too. It doesn't sound like it would be something at the very beginning of an actual drop. It sounds like some kind of, something that you would see in the mess hall on the ship itself, like maybe a couple of hours or a few hours before, or even like a classroom kind of thing, No,
not necessarily, because I think this is also like your seat can be used as a flotation device speech.
Oh, okay.
It may happen, but a quick refresher right before it happens. Here's what we'll do.
I guess I just don't see modern military people having the same kind of thing, like, hey guys, remember, aim for center mass kind of thing.
Yeah. But so Carl continues to talk, saying the bugs use some kind of plasma bursts to divert meteors and aim them towards Earth. We need to know how they do this. If you encounter any plasma, report immediately to your superior. Good luck and good hunting. So the whole time we've been trying to figure out how space wizards send these meteors to Earth. This is how. Because we're trying to figure out, remember, like, is it a bug? Or did they set it up on one tall slip and slide and shoot it out back into space? Apparently, the plasma that shoots out into space is also used to divert the meteors.
No, yeah, I mean, I get that. I figured that was the case too, but the thing is, like, these are, as the Rue McCallaghan had told us before, these are dumb bugs that don't know, physics or math or anything like that. How could they aim their butts up in the air, fire at a asteroid, and then hit Buenos Aires?
I think they're just shooting at that asteroid belt that's around them.
I guess. But we get a nice little scene of the dropships, the Vikings, moving outside of the ship too. There's a little door at the very bottom of the ship that opens up, allows them to go up on a little railing, and we see the Vikings' tail and back of the ship itself moving out.
And that's about where the minute ends, like right when we're starting to get out the bay doors. We see 01 and then 02.
Mm-hmm.
So not a whole lot happens as far as volume in this movie, but there's like behind everything, there's actually a lot.
There's a lot of stuff going on, yeah.
I kind of enjoyed this minute a bit, learning about the music and how we find out how the bugs actually divert the meteors. That's actually really kind of cool.
Mm-hmm.
So I tried to stay in pace with this script, with as far as we go with the movie, because I know there's a lot of things that weren't added in, so it's just kind of cool to reveal it or know about it at the same time as we record it, so everybody's learning at the same time as me. So I kind of like that. If people prefer that I read ahead, but then at the same time I'll spoil something. Like, we could have spoiled this meteor thing.
Well, I mean, as I said, I figured when I first watched the movie, or in my other viewings of the movie before we started doing the movies by minute, I figured it was the plasma bugs that was doing that. I just didn't know how they were doing it because they were dumb bugs.
Yeah, but when we were discussing it forever, and it was kind of fun to discuss it,
yeah.
Had I known this, it would have destroyed that conversation. So I kind of like what I'm doing right now, and I think I'm going to keep up with it, with just reading with it and comparing it minute by minute.
Yeah, I really like it too. I mean, I like a whole entire dynamic where, like, you've only seen the movie and you're reading the script as you go, but I'm the one who's, like, been reading the book over and over again. And I know, like, the whole entire, like, Willie's Wildcats and everything like that. That's a nice little, like, take from the book as well, too. And I was like, oh, that's cool. Or, like, even, like, the last episode or the last couple episodes where they were, like, the dude with the jewelry. That's, a call from the book as well, too. I was like, oh, they should have kept that in.
Yeah.
So, I mean, yeah, all that stuff is really cool. I think we should continue doing what we're doing where, as soon as we get to the thing, we don't need to read ahead. Just keep going. This is awesome.
Alrighty. So is there anything else you want to add to this minute, Matt?
Besides that, the music is awesome.
Alright, so where else can they find you, Matt?
They can find me at AltTabMatt pretty much anywhere on the internet. Twitch, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. But yeah, I'm usually on the Facebook group, guys. Come follow me, send me a message, or talk to me on there. I enjoy talking about the movie.
Yeah. All right. You can also find me on Instagram and Twitch at JDASHD26. You can follow me on Twitter at OMG It's Johann. You can follow us on iTunes, Google Play, Stitcher, and YouTube. Please like, subscribe, rate, and review us as well. Visit our website at theroughneckminute.podbean.com for show notes and back episodes. You guys can follow us on Twitter at roughneckmin. You can also continue the conversation on our Facebook group, the Roughneck Minute Billet. And I've been your host, Johann.
I've been your host, Matthew.
And we'll see you on the Bounce Troopers.